Test 1, 2. Hey folks, how's it going? Hey Jeffrey, the background does not sound like grindcore. It does not. I'm not sure what kind of stream you'd have to grindcore, to be honest. Hope you're doing well. Really good week so far. Might change it up a little bit more. Violent game? Yeah, I suppose. What kind of violence? I mean, violence with weapons? Like hack and slash with lots of blood, or shoot 'em up. Yeah, I can see that, yeah. You reckon almost like a Doom? Kind of like sort of ripping monsters apart? Yes. Yeah, I can see that working. The Doom 20, is it 2016? Doom 2016 soundtrack is pretty badass. You need about a badass soundtrack if you're sort of ripping stuff apart. Listen to Upper Scrum Strick? No. I haven't actually. I've listened to one song today. I only managed to listen to half of it because somebody interrupted me. It wasn't from the album. I put the one song I put on to listen to today. I barely even got halfway through, and I just didn't listen to anything else for the rest of the day. What song was it? It was a new remix that was put out by a group called Hang the DJs. So they released the song today, so I went on Bandcamp, purchased the song. Way better stay away from. Yeah. I don't know the story behind their name, to be honest. I always wondered why my theory of their name, because it's a duo, man and woman, and so the man mainly DJs and the woman mainly kind of MCs. She's kind of like the hype person, sort of dancing around the stage with a microphone. But my theory of their name, Hang the DJs, is that they're not very serious. They like to play random remixes and kind of chop up music a lot and make it very fun. But at the same time, you don't quite know where they're going next. So I think it's probably more like these guys are just weird and erratic. So hang them maybe. I don't know. There's got to be some story behind it. Pretty cool couple though. They do not take themselves seriously in the slightest. Great musicians, they're great producers. But yeah, they released a remix today of an old 90s hardcore track. So I thought, you know what, let's buy that. But I bought it on pre-order, and on Bandcamp you buy a pre-order, you can't always hear it before you buy it. But I know what the original sounded like, and I know they go hard with their beats. So let's give it a go. So I only managed to listen to half of that today. I would play it now, but I don't know how it would affect the stream. But I can certainly drop the link to them. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely not playing Opera. Oh, I suppose it's not on their yeah, it's not actually on their Bandcamp. It's on the label Bandcamp. There it is. So that's the only thing really. So releasing music attached to a label, it's still, even on Bandcamp, it's still kind of sort of out of your hands. Let's post this into chat. Yeah, I think Twitch and YouTube definitely is not the place for that kind of album. Maybe on Joystick. Maybe you can get away with streaming a live play. Hey bot, how's it going? Just see you posting in Discord with a keyboard. That's awesome. That's amazing that you've got something with that kind of detail in a game that it's famously undetailed. I know there's I think there's like a microblock mod for Minecraft that just makes tiny little blocks. I do like the artwork for the album. It's it looks very stereotypical kind of Dutch, or like the view of Dutch, which I suppose is what you're going for. You go, okay, well, let's make something that is just over the top. Going great, especially since I just finished a keyboard. I'm doing good. It's been a good week so far. Doing good indeed. Doing very well. Yeah, that album artwork is very funny. It contains a lot of references. Let's switch over to the main screen. Yes, Mod, your thing about it's called something like Chisel and Bits. Yes, Chisel and Bits. I've not used it personally, but my partner Nix has installed that, and it's crazy. The kind of detailed stuff you can do with that. But yeah, I enjoy like mostly kind of vanilla Minecraft. There's probably one or two mods that add a little bit more fun to it, but I remember playing the original Java Minecraft when it was like early versions before they even brought Hunger. Yeah, I remember playing Minecraft before Hunger was a thing in the survival. Like, there's only one mode, it was survival, and the Hunger wasn't actually a feature yet. And I still enjoyed it back then. I got this from Twitch. Yeah, I saw. I got a notification saying I got one half of that. I need to do another collab stream to get the other half. So, assuming that means when we're streaming it on Monday next week, that should count for the other half, hopefully. It looks really cool. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I hope to try to do anything on Minecraft with Chisel and Bits is so tedious, but then it's designed for people to do very fine kind of art. I can't imagine the extra stress on the CPU though. We're speaking of Minecraft and cubes and stuff. We are going to make something fresh because the last model I was working on, I got a little bit stuck on the texturing and the materials. So I thought I'm going to try and study and learn more about working with materials and textures in Blender, and then I'll apply it to my own work. But I want to actually model something in Blender because I'm happy with the model for that rock and the animation and all the other things. It's just the texturing and materials. So we're going to try making something else today, and then we can come back and do all the texturing. The worst part about the keyboard is finding a way to get the key pressed from 2 coordinates. Ooh. I suppose it's kind of like the player targeting and finding out where they're actually targeting and getting that press. Because I know in Unity, you can draw like a laser. I forgot what they call it now. It's kind of like a laser beam, like from the camera going forward into the scene, and that determines what the actual player is clicking or aiming at. Raycast, that's the one. Yeah, so I know you got raycasting in Unity. I'm assuming that's a feature in a few engines, or at least equivalents. That's a anonymous project. Yes, don't know who's created that. But yeah, so I suppose it would be a similar thing in Minecraft, where it's to determine what block you're looking at, you'd have to kind of raycast effectively. Have you been keeping up with all the releases of Noise Month, by the way? I've seen them popping up. I get notifications going, there's been a new release by this artist. Person behind it calls himself Feetslicker. Sounds delicious. The mod probably uses raycast to detect touches on the monitor, but it returns like the X and Y. I'd have to take those and map it to my characters. Yeah, because I know that the raycasting in Unity returns an object. I think you can return the XY. You can return an XY Z. I think you can, but the main kind of feature I know is returning an object. So it kind of whatever object the raycast hits, you can then do an action on that. But it's kind of cool. Like, sort of, if that object is a button, then you just kind of activate the button. But yeah, the mod for Minecraft has got to be using something similar, because having that finer detail otherwise would be very hard to determine. Alright, go have a look through my little mood board I've made. And I'll see what kind of thing I'd like to model today. There's a few things that'd be cool to model, but I'm going to have to try and pick something within my skill sets, I think. Some of these are kind of beyond me at the moment. But I'd like to get good enough to make all of them. Now, do I make another creature? Because the rock was a creature, effectively. And once I've worked out the texturing for the rock. I have so many variations already planned, but there's no point kind of going on to make variations if I can't actually get the first one. Got some very detailed stuff. How about a rock golem? A rock golem seems pretty simple. See my mood board? I suppose so. It's not going to give too much away. Let's drag this over here. There's a online kind of project tracker, I suppose, called Trello. It's useful for a lot of kind of project tracking. Let's capture this because it's not going to give away too much of my planning. Capture. User 2, awesome. Yeah, I found out about Trello. I can't remember. Was it for work? I think it was work that I originally came across its use, and then I was part of a group of streamers that organised a group streaming day where we would pick an indie title, and then we'd pick a day, and we'd all stream that same indie title online at the same time or the same day, and basically try and boost it up the rankings. I think I'm not sure if Twitch still has me as in that group. Can't see from this page, but yeah, like Twitch groups and stuff. As a part of the Indie Day group of streamers. Yeah, we used Trello to organise what indie games we could play, and then put in kind of notes and what dates people could do, and to try and get as many streamers on a particular day streaming the same game. So it's kind of like giving a bit of love, a bit of a boost to a lesser known indie title. Not display. What do I want? Window capture. That's the one. That's the one. Let's make that a bit smaller. And let's drag that down here. Cool. Let's make sure it's inside the... Yeah, so that's my mood board. So this is for my upcoming game. So this is the first time anyone's really seen anything from it. So I've used a combination of pictures I've found online, as well as some AI generated ones when I've not found anything specifically kind of lining up with what I would want to use. The unfortunate thing is they're not always close to what I actually want to make, but it's kind of like a it gives me like a visual thing. Okay, that's what I was thinking at the time. I've not actually tried something like a mood board, but I see how it can be useful for ideas, inspiration. Yeah, try. Yeah, if you're familiar with Trello, then like if I scroll across, I've got like word notes and stuff, like little thoughts, and go, okay, what games can I take inspiration for their mechanics, their story structures, games that I just need to have a look at and say, okay, how do they do things? Sort of puzzle ideas, story writing ideas, features and stuff. Okay, so how do I do magic? Just looking at different types of magic. And how would the magic system work? Different things to do with the magic system. Then sort of plants and herbs that would be in it. Then elemental creatures and beings. So this is, if I scroll down here. So yeah, this is what I made on stream recently. Obviously it looks nothing like what I've made in Blender, but this is kind of giving me an idea. It's like little cute rock-like things. So the AI image came back with this and go, well, that's not quite what I'm after, but I know what I was thinking. The Azrael EP from 2 weeks ago will get a physical release soon. Tape through the label my old band was on as well. Nice. I think I'm too lazy to make something like this. Well, the thing is, this wasn't just me sat in one go doing it. It's like I'll just have a random idea, and I got the Trello app on my phone, and I go, oh, that's a cool idea. I want to throw that in there. So I'll just open a new card, throw the idea in it, close Trello, carry on with my day. So this board has taken about a year to put together, because I'll just have random ideas. It's only just now that I'm actually coming to make things from the board. But I'm still adding to this. This board is not complete in the slightest. Wow, yeah. But yeah, I've got a few ideas, like the rock golem. So this isn't anywhere like what I was thinking about the rock golem. I was thinking more, because this looks like a large, almost ape-like creature that has rock protrusions. But what I was thinking is more, it is a collection of rocks that is held together by some elemental magic that becomes a golem, and not just a big bipedal sort of Godzilla-like thing. Or King Kong. So, and the good thing with this, you can put that image and then you can put like a quick description, like the rock golem. It's a huge towering giant made of rock, remains still most of the time, but slow to move when it does. They do not have very good vision, and therefore will only notice the player when they are close. When attacking the player, they will slam the ground and at the player, as well as throwing large rocks, mainly found in the rock realm, but also in nature and earth. Yeah, I see your vision better than the AI. Yeah. So the idea being that sort of they could very easily be mistaken for a rocky collection. Like, so you see a bunch of rocks, but in actual fact it's an elemental being that is made of rock. Quite same idea. This is supposed to be like what do you call it? Not necessarily magma, but sort of like volcanic rock, I suppose. A similar idea, but volcanic rock. At least the image description reminds you of what you first thought. Yeah, so without the description, I go, well, why did I think of this? Like, this could be cool, but this is a bit too epic. It's too grand for what I was thinking. Like, this is not a raid boss. This is not a final thing. This is just something that the player will encounter on a number of occasions. Nothing to do with that AI image makes it seem like it's something that's world ending. Dog next looks like my neighbour's dog. Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah, I found that image on Google. Well, I just want a black and white dog, and that's the one that came. Uno saw it on their properties. There is a big fence between our properties. Uno hoped it would manage to get in our backyard. He never is loud or first to attack. He always waits, makes himself big, and just stares and waits until they come close. But the dog fled. Then Uno tried to piss on him, but he missed. I wasn't there, at least it was. Yeah, that was quite funny. He's like, okay, just step one step closer. Just come here and it's game over for you. And then they run away. But yeah, this lava golem is supposed to be a very similar idea, but made from volcanic, molten, glowing, like the rocks are so hot they're glowing and cause kind of fire burn effects if touched, because obviously this is extremely hot rock. So my description for this one was massive creatures made of molten rock and magma. They are slow but incredibly strong, so taking the idea from actual flowing lava. With the ability to melt anything they touch. So again, they're just the embodiment of magma. They do not have good vision, so we don't see the player until they're close. When attacking the player, they will slam the ground and at the player, leaving hot burning patches. So if they slam the ground, that becomes a damaged area that you need to avoid. So there's a bit of a strategy there. As well as throwing molten rocks, they will also leave hot burning patches wherever they land. They can be found in the fire realms. So yeah, just adds, the player will be first introduced to the rock version and then the lava version. Okay, I understand how these work. These ones add an extra element of strategy and difficulty. And then sort of there's an ice variation, which I've picked this out of off Google, which is just basically like a Yeti. I was thinking, what's a big heavy sort of hulking ice-based creature? And you go, well, the Yeti is one of those kind of things. And then sort of, because I'm a big fan of steampunk, I got AI to produce me what a big hulking kind of steampunk equivalent would be. It seems to be a big spherical clock unit with limbs attached. But that design I'm going to work with a bit. I kind of like most of that design it's come up with, but it's not quite what I had in my head. And these are basic races I've come up. So once I've got my understanding of humanoid kind of sort of assets and models, then I'll kind of continue on to make the rest of these. But we've got our ice giants. We've got a small bipedal owl-like creatures. So that was AI. I think this was AI. A lot of these are AI. So I just kind of type out what I'm thinking in my head, and it comes with something close enough to go, it's close. And then, as you say, I write my description down and go, well, this is what I was thinking. This is what the AI comes up. Now, dragon looks gay. Hi, sell emotes. Hey, Lisa, how's it going? Sell the best emotes. Yeah, it's supposed to be friendly. I'm very happy. Oh, gay dragon. Yeah, I was quite happy because I took a couple of attempts to get AI to produce me something that looks this colourful. I like him. Yeah, you can see some of the description I used. A vividly coloured, and then I think the rest of the description is dragon with blowing bubbles. You go, well, the dragon's not blowing bubbles, but there's bubbles in the picture, so I knew I was actually thinking about bubbles. So you know the way that bubbles have almost that mirrored rainbow sheen to them. I was thinking, okay, how can I have a dragon with a similar colouring to like a bubble? So it's effectively a bubble dragon. And then you've got various other dragons, like fire dragon, water dragon, air dragons, nature dragons. This one's cute. Quite like this one. I see your reasoning, yes. Because I wanted to make a series of dragons based on sort of naturally occurring kind of stuff. So this one I like. You got flowers blooming from its this crest, I suppose, and its wings are almost semi-translucent, like a leaf in the sunshine. So the AI came through quite nicely with this one. Yeah, I'm going to model the rock golem today because I think that's going to be the easiest. The wings can be leaves, yeah. And it would work quite nicely. But this is one of my favourite ones that I managed to achieve through prompting. So I've not written any descriptions because the image does a pretty good job. This one's pretty cool. So this is a rock golem dragon. So a dragon that has sort of, it's not going to be quite the same as a rock golem, but it's going to be a similar idea, but in dragon form. And it's going to have vestigial wings, as in there will be wings, but this thing is going to be that heavy it would never fly. If anything, it will probably just kind of be more like a bull. It will just be very heavy in charge and kind of cause destruction on the ground as opposed to any real maneuverability. But his name is something like Rocky the Rockstar. I have to give him nicknames. So this one is purely made of metal plating. So I quite like this one as well. So the AI decided to put it in a steelworks, which I suppose is, it makes sense, I suppose. But this is, again, it's supposed to be like a sentient being. It's not a sculpture. Terminator vibes, yeah. Kind of robotic, but yeah, entirely made out of metal plating, and kind of has a basically got a furnace in it. So that's kind of the fire coming out of it. It looks like it's basically sat over a furnace, but it's supposed to be a furnace inside the dragon. So I couldn't really do a writing description, but these ones were the first things I came up with, so they sticks in my mind more. AI went a bit weird on the body of this one, but it mostly looks like what I was after. Like the legs are weird. I've got 5 legs on the bottom and an extra one on the side here, and only 1 wing and 1.5 tails. So it really messed this one up, but the colouring I like it and the general idea of the shape. But this one lives in the dry deserty areas. This one very similar to the rock one, but it's ice. Doesn't fly because ice is heavy. 1 leg looks like sand. Yeah, that image just really didn't work. But I know what I was after there. So yeah, this ice one's going to be too heavy to fly. Similar idea to the rock, but I quite like this as well. So this one's basically Goth. It's a Goth dragon. So it could be live in a sort of a land of perpetual night. and it's a kind of opposite equivalent, which one that lives in the land of perpetual sun in daytime. One that's electrically charged. Again, the AI couldn't quite get. It was supposed to be spitting lightning, is what I actually asked in the prompt. So, well, I want the dragon to be spitting lightning rather than breathing fire. I want it to be like sort of almost like a forked tongue comes out and kind of like spits the lightning out. But no matter what I did, I couldn't get the AI prompt for that one. But I know, again, I know what I wanted. Just couldn't do it. This one I really like as well. Similar to the metal plating one, this is a purely steam driven copper and brass dragon. Again, it only has the one wing, but it's very easy to kind of make a second wing off that. So this one, I can imagine, is going to take me a while to make. Looks cool, yeah. So those would be the complex ones to make. And they got varying different kind of races that I'd like to have available. This one's one of my favourite races. I think I'll put into it. Can't wait for you to get these skills to make these. Yeah, me neither. I like it. So this one is actually, if you're aware of a company called Displate, they make metal posters. I actually took this off their website. I went, this is pretty cute. It's a panda mage wizard thing. So I got to have a panda mage wizard somewhere in there. So I thought, okay, I'll take this image as inspiration. Make an entire race of beings, and some happen to be. I like them, yeah. And then going for your standard kind of stuff in there: werewolves, vampires, fairies, bird people. So brass CPU, C3PO inspired. By the looks of it, I didn't actually request to be C3PO inspired, but that's what the AI came back with. Kind of somewhere between C3PO and Terminator. Maybe a little bit Iron Man with the way it got a glowing chest. But again, it gives me close enough to the idea I was thinking about. People live in icy, frosty lands. Gnome people. Goblin people, sea people, fire people. You can kind of see where I'm going with this. Like, there's going to be a lot of different biomes, and there's going to be humanoids, golems, and dragons. They kind of match each kind of elemental kind of biome effectively. And I was thinking, okay, potions, so different magic potions. And player character will have a choice of pet to take on their journey. We have a cat, dog, rat, bird, rabbit. It's the ones I've thought about for now. Your typical kind of pet animal, but they kind of stay by your side as you go on your adventure. Don't know what I'm choosing. I know which one I'm choosing. Yeah, as it is, these are basically all my kind of pets I've had in the past. So I know personally what it's like to own each of these pets. So that's going to put my own experience into them. I've not actually owned a bird that looks like that, but Nor a dog that looks like that. But yeah, so okay, you imagine you can running around on an adventure and you have this creature to keep you company. And this guy will be in the game. So he's not the main character, but he's in the game. You've got different quest givers that come up with their ideas. Got a Joker inspired quest giver. Obviously legally distinct and nothing like DC property. But that's what AI's given me. A fairy quest giver, a pirate, gangsters, a bard-like character, humanoid dragon character, a rabbit. She adds Batman to fight the Joker. Yeah, I've kind of gone the mini bat people. Yeah, I could make mini bat people actually, that would be quite fun. Yeah, we got a bun man rather than a Batman. So he's going to be in there. We've got Pied Piper, we got an artist. Then we've got locations which we'll find in the game. So kind of like, okay, different locations, and I've started writing storylines. I've only got 2 at the moment. 3 actually, got 3 storylines. I just haven't got a picture for that first one. So anytime I think of a short story, I kind of write it into a card, add a picture. And these become like quests or quest lines that the player will have to follow. But yeah, today we'll do the rock garden. Should I add a location that's something like Hug's Hangout, which is like a safe zone? Yeah, there's I suppose your hometown. There's a hometown. Do I have a hometown here? Yeah, that's roughly what the hometown. It's not going to look quite that big, but that's roughly what I was thinking of the hometown. Like a nice safe zone where the player starts off and they'll kind of run around, talk to the local people, learn a few things, and then head off on their adventure. But then, do I have it here as well? Yeah. So effectively, again, this is almost like an anime style. I was thinking, okay, where would a wizard live? And so I've changed my idea so many times since I've uploaded this picture. In fact, this is probably close to what I was thinking. Well, yeah. I got so many images I want to use for this, but this is no longer anywhere near what I wanted to do. Or wanting or thinking about anymore. But that's one of the first images I came up with. Okay, I wanted like a house, but with like a wizard's tower. Now I'm thinking, actually, let's go for more like a tower with a small house. But there's going to be a lot of safe zones. Lots of places you can chill, hang out. Like a flying pirate ship. Or airship. They're supposed to have like a big Zeppelin like balloon on this, but again AI doesn't know what an airship looks like. One time attempted to make an RPG on my own inspired by Avatar, the Last Airbender, I made a little town but stopped because when I was pretty bad at GD script. Oh, that's a shame. Cool idea though. I'd like to. I've not really watched much of Avatar: Last Airbender, but what I have seen, I'd like to take a little bit of inspiration from for this. Because I know there's you got the four elements in Avatar, but I've gone a bit further with 10, possibly. I can't remember them. But yeah, there's a few things that have inspired me to kind of go with this. Made like water abilities, but they were broken. Yeah, that's gonna be something I'm gonna need to do eventually. Two water abilities. Oh, nice. Yeah, I'm gonna have to at some point work out like the visual effects of like if you want to cast a water spell, kind of like water bending, I suppose, but sort of kind of conjure water and kind of blast people with it, or different things you can do with water. And same with like fire and electricity and sort of earth and nature. So thinking, okay, how would that look? What effect would it have? What could the player do with this? What utility could this have? Like with water, you can fill a small vessel with water. If you want to like tip a scale or something. Sort of a very similar idea to the more recent Legend of Zelda games, where you have to kind of apply physics in some way to a puzzle. Or lighting something with a fire spell. So yeah, all those kind of things I need to think about. But I've got the basic principles of what I would like to do with it. I'm thinking, while I'm still finalising this mood board, start making what I've made already, what I've decided on already, and then when I get a moment to go, oh, that's a fun thing to add. Open up Trello on my phone, add the things in there. But yeah, it's been at least a year adding to that board. Like working on stream with my other game, I've just been adding more and more thoughts to that Trello board. Curious, how are you going to go about this rock going? Yeah. So how do I start? Sort of. I suppose I could make like a humanoid looking creature and then just attach rocks to it to make it look like it's made of rocks. So in effect it doesn't need to be anything too I suppose if you want to actually see the rocks moving around each other, so in effect it only needs to be very thin, doesn't it? Its body and limbs don't need to have much to them. It could be a stick figure, and then the rocks themselves are just attached there to give it form. So if that's going to be the case, then what we need is we need the core of the body. So we use this cube as the core of it. So we actually only need to be quite thin on this. So let's shrink. So let's make both of these 0.2. 0.2. So we have let's make a torso. So that torso is 1 meter high. Press Shift Z to scale on the X and Y. Ah, good point. Yes. Yeah, I forget about the shortcuts. needs to be... How tall is this going to be? Okay, it's going to be... needs to be probably twice the height of the player. We say the player is about 1.5 meters. So the player is going to be S, then Shift Z, by the way. Oh yes, press S, Shift Z scale. Cool, thank you. It's been a while, yeah. Oh, Blender's thinking, I think. Oh no, because there you go. So 3 meters could be too tall. Yeah, 3 meters high for a rock golem should be about appropriate, I'd say. That's going to be quite tall, but it's not going to be giant. So let's make that. That's not including the head. The head's not going to have much on it, so the shoulders will be about, from the floor to the tip of the shoulders would be about 3 meters. So this needs to be about 3 meters high. 3 is a good scale, yeah. Yeah, let's do it from this angle. It could be easier. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's the 3rd meter. So the torso, that's gonna be 4 meters there. Probably need to bring that down. Make that 2.5. So we have the legs coming up this way. So the legs are about 1.5 meters. Arms, probably the same as. Yeah, so we duplicate that. Obviously needs to have some hips, but should use the mirror modifier, so duplicating. Yes, that's a good point. What I'll probably do is I'll mark it out with these, then make the side of it, and then yeah, and use mirror modifier. But that's kind of like sizing out roughly where I want things. So if I make like a hip, and the question is really, do I shape it from the one piece? In which case, it's been a while. What are you making? Watching Malcolm in the Middle. Nice. Missed it. I'm making a rock golem. Oh, it's been so long. Need to get a cheat sheet up, I think. What's subdivide again? Let's have a quick look. So I need to do lots of different models, I think. So I actually learn the tools. Go into edit mode, of course. And right click. Yeah, I was right clicking it. Why can't I subdivide it? There it is. Cool. That's pretty much exactly how I'd want it. I'll hide that. Some of these things become muscle memory for me. Yeah, I'm hoping it'll get that way for me as well, eventually. But at the moment, because I'm switching between Blender and Unity, Unity's become a little bit more muscle memory because I've done more streams on that compared to Blender, which Blender unfortunately has been neglected a bit. So we kind of wanted to come out about something along those lines. Then extrude again. At one point I used to try and use Blender shortcuts in Godot. I wouldn't understand why they wouldn't work. Yeah, I can feel that. It's like, oh. Every time I switch between Unity and Blender, the interfaces are that similar that I go, hang on a minute, why is that menu popping up? I didn't click anything. Oh yeah, of course. Something like that, I'd say. Obviously, you need to put bends in there for each of the rocks eventually. So when we kind of cover this model with rocks. Sup, Junkie? What's with the off-center H? How's it going, Teeny Totus? We're making a rough kind of stick figure. Oh yes, yeah. It's an unfortunate looking shape, but it's not quite there. Yeah, we're making a stick figure which we'll cover with rocks to turn into a rock golem. So that one we can remove now because that was. Yeah, it's quite close to an SS, yeah. Be careful what you make, by the way. What Jeffrey says, yeah. It's fortunate I can now delete. I can delete half of this because I'm going to copy it. If it's accidental, it isn't bannable. Chill. Yeah. It's all chill. Besides, the actual symbolism in itself isn't originally related. Like we all thought the SS in this was funny. Yeah, we kind of programmed to I go, whoop, that is not a good thing. Which you would think all people were, but clearly it's not the case. It means peace in India. The Indian Empire had it on the flag. Yes, yeah. It's a runic as well. The S, that style S is a runic S from older cultures. There's a lot of culture that was stolen and reused for negative stuff. And I know that there's people trying to restore the original cultural meanings, but it's going to be very hard. Like, when something negative has been attached to something, it's hard to pull it back. And it's a shame because, as you say, meaning peace and then being used for the complete opposite. Talk about stolen culture, speak to the British all yourself, yeah. Yeah, the British are kind of experts in stealing culture. Yeah, I'd like to go somewhere, go, I like that, that now belongs to me. Our national dish is fish and chips. Probably chips as well, but chips, yeah. I know the thing is, potatoes aren't native to the UK, are they? I think the potatoes are like native to America. They're American plant. I don't know why people attack the British. They're the reason for a lot of independence days. Yeah, the British are famous for giving people independence days. Pretty sure they were cultivated in South America, as far as I'm aware. Okay. Yeah, I know they aren't native. Same with pumpkins. Pumpkins aren't native to the UK. And yet we grow them here now, along with potatoes. Yeah, many places in the world have the UK to kind of thank for giving them something to celebrate about. Now, being a Gurlam, they don't necessarily need to follow natural, kind of sensible ideas of what a form should be. So I think their arms can be the same length as their torsos. We can always extend it as well, so it means that arm's going to have to curve around some way or form. Funny how a skinny 4 turned into a history talk. Yeah. Yeah, this is a model now. It's just a 4. Yeah, we will remove that cube because we now we want to extend this bit out. Let's extrude. Have the arms a bit wider, so the shoulders could be wider than the, yeah, probably something like that. Yeah, but like millions of deaths for one celebration day, 20 million people died in colonization in India. That's more than what Germany caused. Wow, yeah. Yeah, it's easy to point fingers. You go, actually. Yeah. British history is does not show very favourable, but we kind of own up to it. A lot of European countries own their history and go, well, yeah, we were pretty bad. British were the bad guys in World War II. They were letting many people die and then distract them with Germany. Obviously, Germany was well. Yeah, that war, there's nobody who really wins in a war. It's everybody ends up losing something. Yeah, it's horrific what the British did. and what we've done since as well. Then there's a lot of people that are not happy with our government over more recent wars. This is not what we pay our tax for. Worst we've done yet, put Keir Starmer to power. Yeah. Oh. See, there's the thought that, okay, maybe he could do a good job, and clearly, no. So a meme where it's like me showing my grandpa a table drawing, my grandpa saying my drawing is the best because he remembers what happened the last time an artist was rejected. Oh yeah, you gotta say those things are nice. Definitely not voting for reform though. Maybe the Green Party. Yeah, I'm thinking the same, Teeny. Like, so most of my, well, pretty much all of my kind of sort of political affiliations have been kind of close to Liberal Democrats, but I can't trust them to fully keep everything in line. But Greens are looking very favourable though. That they're actually really thinking grassroots. Okay, what's going to benefit the man on the street? What's going to benefit that family that's struggling to pay their bills? The children that need help. So they got a lot of good stuff. They're not just the party of kind of the environment as they used to be. So it's quite cool to see they're thinking about it as a broader stuff. Personally, don't care about immigration, as long as it's legal immigration. Deportation is peaceful. Oh yeah. Like there's ways of processing this stuff. Like I personally believe immigration's been great for the country. Like I mean, it's done properly. If considering how bad the British have been to other countries and the wars we've been involved in, the least we can do is look after people looking for places to seek refuge. And for the amount of countries we've kind of invaded, we can't then say, hang on, we don't want people that aren't born here to come here, because that's a little bit hypocritical. We kind of rocked up into so many countries and go, hi, we're going to live here now. And there's nothing you can do about it. We have guns. I think for the most part we're doing okay. There's far better ways of doing things and we're not doing them. Yeah, I hope whoever ends up replacing Starmer does a far better job. I'm going to shove it now. Doug, too political. That's okay, Teeny. Yeah, these things sometimes come up. And I'm not opposed to politics, but I understand that certainly it causes issues when trying to discuss things. Because I would like to think my channel is a pretty kind of open place for everyone that wishes no ill on other people. When does Starmer's term end? Hopefully soon. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know when the general election is supposed to be up. Oh, I absolutely hate. What on earth is going on? My laptop got some water spilt over it last year, so to use it I'm having to plug in a USB keyboard. But despite that, it still keeps trying to add stuff when I'm typing on it. Yeah, I can't type on there. Let's type on my PC. General election. No more than 5 years apart. Last one was held in July 24. So we're a year and a half into having Starmer. Apparently, if he doesn't resign, it's 2029. No, his only safety act is running the internet. Yeah, these VPNs refuse to let up my online anonymity. Yeah, I did hear that. He wanted to kind of make it so VPNs required some kind of tracking, which kind of defeats the whole point of a VPN. Is that all people are using VPNs now to get around the Online Safety Act? Well, yes. Does any one of us, a mildly tech-based mind, would know this? Good day, Panda. Hey, Cobbler, how's it going? It's good to see you, dude. Hope you've been well. Been a minute, yeah. How are you? It's good to see you again. Like, these things work in principle. Like, I can see on paper, on a technical standpoint, like, I could see how the Online Safety Act could have worked, just not in the hands of any government that we seem to have. But yeah, VPNs are very useful because there's too much tracking as it is. I'm great, good to see you too. I hope you're doing well. Yes, I am. I'm well indeed. Definitely well. Okay, I think if we put an arm shape in here, then make sure we're happy with how that's looking, and then we'll mirror it to the other side. I'll probably actually kind of chop off half of this. Cool, so we chop that half off. I've been busy with my new job and moved to a new country, so been away from going online.
How about a hug? That's the best kind of magic.
How's the new job going now? Hey, thank you for the follow on Twitch, much appreciate that, Mapita. So you see the messages pop up. We get a lot of bots in here trying to sell stuff. Not interested in staying or hanging out or being part of the fun. They just want to hear to sell their services. We know about that, but if you're not, welcome in. It's good to have you here. You know what's they have expert doctors, expert electricians, review those laws, but for other things like IT, it's a bunch of old people who don't know how it works make these laws. Yeah. I know technology moves faster than a lot of governments can keep up, but come on, the internet's been around for a little while now. It's not anything new. I remember back in 2017, I think it was in 2017, I went to TwitchCon. And they had panels at TwitchCon where you could listen to people and you could ask questions. And there was a legal panel. This is in America, so obviously slightly different laws, but Twitch being American, most of it's going to apply anyway. And they were talking about sort of legalities of like streaming and stuff, and I went up to ask the question. Well, I DJ, and I still occasionally try and DJ, put my DJ stuff over there. And so I DJ, and I would like to DJ on Twitch. So if I were to go out somewhere, take my stuff, and I DJ in a venue, in an actual physical brick building, either the building, like the owners of the building, or myself can purchase a license in order to play copyrighted music. I can go, well, here's my license, I've paid, I can now play the music legally. Radio stations can buy a license and play music legally. How is the law looking as far as doing that in an online space? Like, if I wanted to purchase like a license to stream copyrighted music on Twitch, for instance, like a generic license that covers all music, like a radio station. And these lawyers could not give me an answer. I go, well, there's nothing in place. There's nothing. Like, the law is so far behind on keeping up with online music that you can't play copyrighted music online legally without going to every single record label and artist that you plan to play their music and seek individual permission or license from them. And that was 2017. That's only 9 years ago. And I think Twitch only recently, in the past couple of years or so, made the DJ category on Twitch to allow you to be a DJ on Twitch. It's really good. Game Dev VR 360 video that we do here. Oh, nice. That's so cool. That sounds really fun. I'm glad to hear that, Cobbler. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into game dev as a like a functional job at some point. 2017 is 9 years ago. It's mind-boggling. 9 years. Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, I think 9 years ago. But yeah, the law is so far behind, and governments don't understand technology. I was going through some recordings just an hour ago, and there was an audio date 2017, and I said the same thing when I counted. The thing I said, 2017 doesn't seem that long ago, surely. Use face select is, oh yes, thank you Bob. See, I'm not thinking. much easier. Because we want it kind of down to at least most of the way down the hip. 3 on keyboard. Ah, see, I wouldn't even know these ones. Yeah, how's Blender treating you so far? It's well, I get to up to a certain speed with Blender, and then I don't use it for a few weeks, and I come back to it and go, what's the shortcut for that again? I really need to sort of spend a lot of time doing basic shapes in Blender, I think. Oh yeah, that'll get you, yeah. But otherwise, yeah, I'm liking Blender. Like, what I would like to put a bit more time into is materials and material painting, and actually putting color and texture to a model. Because yeah, it might take me a moment to remember all these shortcuts, but I can model fairly comfortably now. But what I don't know much about is when you start coming to like the first few tabs at the top here. I can do layouts, modeling, sculpting, not an issue. And when it comes to UV editing, texture painting, shading, I hardly know anything of that. Animation, I've learned a bit of animation now. I can do animation. Geometry nodes, no idea. Scripting, I've not even looked at. But I can do animation, and I can do anything from layout, modeling, or sculpting. Not a problem, those. But yeah, I need to learn like the visual part of it. Like, what's it going to look like now it's a model? So that is half a golem. At the head, I could put kind of a header. I think you'll like texturing. I think I will once I understand my way around Blender and how to do that. Like, I like creating art. I like creating imagery. But it becomes frustrating because I know what I want to do. I just don't know how to do it on Blender yet. By the way, you might want to try. Might add a skin modifier too. Okay. What's the skin modifier do? Does that kind of soften it? Am I kind of happy with? It's like a bevel but better. Ooh. What we're making, this is going to be a rock golem. Let's go to modifiers. Have a quick look. Skin. Create a solid shape from vertices and edges using the vertex radius to define thickness. Especially good for humanoids. Okay. Yeah, so a lot of these modifiers I don't know. Like some of like obviously bevel's easy enough. Boolean I've used. Boolean's been quite fun to use. Masking I've looked at once. Mirroring I've used a few times. Well, so I've used cloth for the physics modifier. That's been fun to play with. Reply on skin. Oh, okay. That's quite funky. Whoa! Never seen that happen. Kind of funky. Not quite what I'm after, but it's got to make it into a lattice effect. I think it's probably because I got subdivisions, maybe. It's probably looking at the subdivision and it's kind of beveling around the subdivisions. Skin mod can work by extruding verts. Okay. Yeah, it's probably a lot of vertices on there that it's working with. We'll hide that for now. If I kind of remove some of these subdivisions, maybe it would work better. I can see it would smooth out the model if it was if I built it better. But so realistically, you're not going to see this shape. Anyway, the shape's going to be the scaffold. It's more of a scaffold, I suppose. So this is kind of like a scaffold for the rocks to be sat on. But then once the rocks are sat on here, I can basically animate the scaffold, and everything else will be attached to it. If that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Usually, we start by adding a single vert and then add the skin mod, then start extruding. Okay. Skeleton. Yeah, I suppose skeleton. Because I can bring in some rock, some rocks, and kind of attach it to this. So I was thinking, okay, we'll make the skeleton shape of the golem, and then just attach the rocks to the skeleton. So the rocks can hide, would be hiding this, I'd say. So once I'm kind of happy with this shape, so I could probably put like an elbow bend in here, and a knee bend there. See dog walking time? Be right back, okie dokie. Either way, gotta hit the hay, got a long day tomorrow. Good night, hope you get the rest of the Stickman done, or maybe more. Okie dokie bot, good to see you. Thanks for hanging out and all your tips. And looking forward to seeing how your Minecraft computer works out. But enjoy your evening, have a good rest. See you next time. Yeah, I'm mostly happy with. Yeah, I think I just for basically when I actually put the armature into this, I need to have places where it can bend. Although it depends how I make it, really. Anyway, good. Same here. Saw your streaming. Well, I'll come and say hi before sleep. Well, thank you very much, Cobbler. I do appreciate that. Hope you have a good rest. We'll catch you on the next one. Yes, indeed. See you next time. Hope you have a good week. Yeah, I suppose if I put like a couple of rocks, it doesn't have to conform to a proper humanoid. If it has multiple bends in its arm, then it can be kind of floppy. It doesn't have to apply to usual rules. So I could put almost like a snake effect. So it can have multiple bends in its arm, I suppose. So you could probably do with putting a few subdivisions in here. It doesn't have to have divisions this way. Realistically, as long as it's got divisions for where the joints would be. Ooh, funky. Not quite what I was after. Oh, excuse me. That's what I'm after. Just dissolve them. I'm sure once I've been using Blender a lot more, then I should be able to throw a character together so much quicker. There's so many cool things you can achieve with this one piece of software. I'd love to be able to learn one day. But I learn by doing, and unless I do, I won't learn. So gotta do things the hard way and then learn how to make them easier. But now I know roughly where I want these shapes, I can remove the unnecessary faces. I'm generally quite excited to actually achieve my ideas, create them into something tangible that can be used. Because that looks better. Oh, just need to probably leave the subdivisions on the top maybe, I don't know. Don't really need them, I definitely don't need those ones there. Yeah, we'll get rid of these. We'll keep it simple shapes. But I do want to put at least a couple of breaks into the arms and the legs, and probably one in the middle of the torso. Now I've actually joined it all up again. Interesting. Go with these extra vertices as well. I think that's now looking better. Oh, got a couple more here. Okay. Starting to look better. I get a swig of a drink. I suppose a good thing with a rock golem is it doesn't have to be too natural in a shape. This is a good one to start with. Some of the creatures I would like to make have to have some kind of natural shape to them, but they're now coming to me kind of moulding stuff a bit more. suppose ultimately I don't actually need to have much there, but I feel like I need to have something solid there. So I kind of learn better of how these things are going to work. Not quite what I'm after. That's what I'm after. Do a quick Google. See what the easiest way of doing this. Okay, so selecting the faces. Right click, subdivide. Okay, yeah. That's a bit of an easy way of doing it. Now to make it a little bit more natural, I suppose if this section has a rock, that section has a rock, that section has a rock, this section has a rock, that has a rock, that has a rock, that's a rock, this is a rock, that is a rock. Don't need to be too complex, I suppose. How it moves, however, can be slightly more unnatural. Okay, let's save this file for the first time tonight. Yeah, that's the way I actually wanted it. You could do having that bend in the middle there. So we select a face. Delete the face. I am back. Welcome back. Hope it was a good dog walk. Do you want to see the cassette art for the upcoming release and also the art from a new project? More serious grindcore project? I won't do anonymously. I'm a man of many projects. You are indeed. You certainly keep yourself busy. Yeah, I'm always happy to see your art. I like to have one or two projects on the go, but certainly it can't achieve that level of a project. Cool. Okay. We now have a bit that bends in the middle. So basically each of these rectangular pieces will be a home to a rock. Let's remove these additional vertices. We don't need those. Cool, see the message. Oh, nice. That's very cool, I like that. Very your style. I'll tell you about the monkey brain. Tell you about monkey brain. I don't know if you told me about monkey brain. I saw something about screaming monkeys. I'm not sure if there's another piece about you did. Another thing I thought up. So everyone wants to sound like a pig when they do grindcore. I want a monkey themed grindcore project. I think you did mention something about monkeys. Oh, that's a cool manufactured obedience. I like that. That's a very cool album art. Oh yes, yeah. I've seen this monkey brain. Simian violence. Oh yes, I forgot, yeah. Yeah, that's the one, yeah, you sent me the Bandcamp page. Never seen the artwork full though. That's the first time you showed me the full image of the artwork. It's very cool. Difference in main projects and like side things with a theme. Okay. I need a main grindcore and a black metal since it's my main genres. Do you think Cold Step is my main now as well for my electronic urge? But the rest is just what I do when I feel like. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I suppose if you're constantly kind of getting ideas and urges to create certain things. It makes life so much easier when you've got an open project you can just dip into. So I suppose like with what I'm doing with Trello for my Moongate Mage, so I can just throw things into that knowing that it's all ready for me to throw an idea at. If I didn't have that, then it'd be frustrating. Go, well, I have this idea, I don't know what to do with it. Let's save that. I do wonder if I can use that voice synth I use for Climax Era to sound like Angry Gorillas. It's made for humans. I'm sure if anybody can make a human synth, voice synth sound like an Angry Gorilla, I'm pretty sure you're the one to work it out. It's amazing the sound you got out of it anyway. I do love how the Twitch censoring on my alt just doesn't like the word climax. As if it's climax isn't a an inherent dirty word. It just means it's not only it can ending of a movie or music. Yeah, it is the final ending of something, and the story comes together. Yeah, or when people do. But it could be for anything. So maybe it's sort of Twitch sees it being used in alternative contexts more often than it is used for its proper purpose. But it's not inherently a dirty word. I remember the first time reading an old book, they still used fetish for a religious item. Oh. I was like, what the hell are these priests talking about? Yeah. But yeah, things like that, ends up getting used. So for alternative kind of meanings. Okay, so has it... Yes, there used to be a word for that. Oh, and gay, yeah. Happy, fun. Just gets applied to something. Oh, that guy seems a bit gay. I wonder what kind of day he's having. Yeah, Flintstones intro. The Flintstones have a gay old time. Yeah, it's interesting how language evolves, but it shouldn't be restricted because of that. Right. Now, do I attach rocks to it first and then animate it? Well, I suppose what I should really do first is put the armature into it. Then I know where the armature needs to be. And then I can apply the rocks around it. We don't really have a word like gay. We just use shortened homosexual to homo. Kind of boring. Yeah, I suppose. I know because English borrows a lot of words, and we still have a lot of old English words that are still hanging around, as well as kind of modern English and borrowed words from other languages. We have a lot of anti-LGBT slurs, though. Those are not nice. No. The unfortunate thing is, there's always going to be sort of things. Slurs end up being sort of. It becomes worse when it's a word that wasn't a slur, but then it becomes a slur because it's used in a negative way. And you go, that word was originally okay, but people started using it to be sort of nasty to people. So yeah, because of that, it's now associated with that. We can't really use it anymore. But it's usually if you try and describe a group of people with a singular word with any form of hate, it just takes it out of the language. Which some of them should be if the word was only kind of used in that purpose, then it has no other purpose. But even the N-word wasn't originally kind of didn't have a bad meaning. It just from the get-go was kind of said with hate and being derogatory. So it's sort of in itself the word doesn't have that meaning, but it's because people applied it. And there's a lot of things, a lot of words like that, unfortunately. You would hope by now, in the year 2026, we wouldn't have it still, but somehow society can't move on from it. I realised some time ago that even though I've never been homophobic or anti-gay in any way, I use both the Dutch homo and the English gay. We borrow that one a lot. When I meant lame or dumb, not even associated with LGBT anymore. It was just so used to so much around me as a child that way that I just used it like that. But quit that years ago, yeah. Same like when I was a child and when I was kind of in school, we used to sort of, kids would say, oh, that is so this, or you're like, exactly the same way. It's sort of, it's not meant necessarily, kids don't understand it and don't apply that meaning, but they learn it in that context. It's like sort of even the word dumb, for instance, or lame. Sort of dumb was supposed to be somebody without speech. So to call somebody without speech is dumb, and they go, well, if you have no speech, you can't speak, therefore you're not intelligent. So they end up associating dumb people with unintelligent people, and therefore you think, well, you are as unintelligent as a person who is unable to speak. But then, yeah, even words like that, sort of used negatively. The same with lame. Lame sort of to be sort of not have physical function. That's funny since mute in Dutch is stom, which is the same word as stupid. Okay. Yeah, it's going to be unfortunately how society views people that are mutes and that they can't speak. Dumb is dom. Okay, it's not used for mute. Yeah, it's just how society sees people that are different and who have disabilities. Like, so it's still things these days where you see somebody in a wheelchair and you think, well, this person is unable to do anything because they have a wheelchair. And the only thing they can't do is stand up for long periods of time. There's no other, that's the only purpose of the wheelchair, is that they can't use their legs properly. Yet people would see someone in a wheelchair go, well, they must have some mental or psychological issue in addition to their legs. We use a different one, but also negative. Yeah, it's sad, really. Like even like the word crazy, you think, oh, something is crazy. That is a crazy story. You know, well, crazy is actually someone who's sort of mentally sort of struggling. And there are people who generally are crazy. But it's hard to kind of get away from that language, because it's used so much and you apply different meanings to it, but it also retains the original meaning. Yes, I know that. I have a friend and his mother has one leg because she was in a coma and it would have killed her. So they didn't treat her legs, but she got out. And the muscles killed her leg, so she can't walk no more. But she's not unintelligent. People at the grocery store talk to her like she's a child and want to help her pay and shit. Yeah, I don't understand where this comes from. Like, you see, well, people can have any number of disabilities. It's just one aspect that they are unable to do. And yeah, I suppose they're trying to feel it's helpful to them, but no, you just kind of being more harmful. Hey, Nova. Nova Dantis. I like that name. Hey, it's ironic how people that can't speak were associated with not smart, when so often the idiots are the ones that don't shut up. Exactly, I like that. Hey, how's the game going? Game's going good. Yeah, we decided to make at least make the skeleton of a rock golem today. So this is going to be kind of sort of effectively structured, and then we'll just decorate it with rocks. But the rock throwing game's going well, and we're now designing assets for the next project. When you're in a coma for a long time or any reason, they need to treat your muscles and shit, but since she wasn't given any chance to wake up, they didn't. And when she woke up, and her feet muscles just like broke all her bones. Oh no, and they hardened. Oh, that's sad. Yeah, I suppose they go, well, this person is not worth treating because they're probably not going to wake up. There should always be hope, though. But yeah, muscles need to be exercised when you're not able to move. Yeah, we're making progress on the game though. So my next project, I'm basically going through my mood board and just picking random things to make, and just put into my asset library while I finish off my my current game. So we're learning for the future while still working on the present. But I'm pretty happy with this skeleton. Yeah, the thing is, she was reanimated way longer than you or me would have. There are protocols like, okay, like after this time we stop, but she worked in surgery and the doctors reanimating her were her friends and couldn't stop due to emotional reasons. Okay. She came out a lot worse than you ever would have. Again, comes from a place of caring but ends up being harmful. Right, can we apply an armature? Time protocols on it are like there for a reason. Yeah, all protocols are there for a reason, even though they seem pointless. Her son has one arm, by the way. A lot of people think they were in an accident together. I suppose I can say, okay, we've got people missing limbs from the same family. Something might have happened. For separate reasons. That's fair, yeah. Where's the armature? So, is the rock golem potentially finding its way into the catapult game as well? I think I would like to add Easter eggs into the catapult game to the next game, kind of thing. Say, okay, potentially these two things could coexist in the same universe, kind of thing. But I could use the catapult game as a testing ground to add certain things. Like if the rock golem is happened to be there defending the castle, then you'd have to take out the rock golem. So that could be a fun thing. Just adds more mechanics. It tests out a feature that I will then use in my next project. In object mode. I was in object mode. Object mode. Right click model, then okay, let's apply an armature. I need to add the armature. Yeah, it seems like it could be a fit. Yeah, biological Collapse art is a collage, by the way. So it's the monkey brain. It's grindcore to do collages, and I was busy enough drawing the girl for the tape receive. Okay. Yeah, collages are pretty cool. Like, it's something you don't tend to see as often anymore. But the Prodigy had an album where every single release, as well as the album, was collage based. A very similar idea. I think it's always outnumbered, never outgunned. That their whole album and single releases had a different collage for each single, which was pretty cool. I don't think I got anything to hand, but it's a very cool kind of like symmetrical collage stuff. Very similar to your style of manufactured obedience. Shift A. Yeah, not active in grindcore crosspunk noise. Yeah, okay, yeah. You don't see it in sort of popular music, I suppose. But you used to see it quite a lot, sort of, and it worked its way into more popular stuff. Spitfire was a banger of tune, yeah. There's a lot of people that don't appreciate it as much as they should, because it's the opening track, and it's quite simple compared to some, but it's a good heavy sound to it. That's yeah, it kind of gets you going. Shift A to add armature in object mode. Armature, there it is. Basic. Humanoid. Okay, there's the armature. I need to apply it to the... need to spin it. I'll probably spin this model, to be honest. Yeah, I liked everything on what was that number? Never Outgunned. Yeah, it definitely. I reckon they must have taken inspirations from the more underground stuff. Ah, he's back. Welcome back, Lisa. These are the emotes. Just are the best emotes. There they are. Very cool notes. Something along those lines. Do a freestyle rap by Sound Nudes. No, I still can't do a freestyle rap. I probably need to go into edit mode and move these down. probably along that lines there. Don't need quite as many neck bones because it's not really a creature with a neck. It's probably dissolve I want really, isn't it? Don't want to delete it. Dissolve selected bones. Ooh, no. Dissolve that one. That's better. It's not going to be bending his neck, it's probably going to be twisting it but not bending it. Move the shoulder blades up a bit. You may be planning to do so later, but would recommend splitting the edges at bone junctions to help deform. Yeah, so probably need to split them out a little bit more. Of the mesh, yeah. Because I've only got basic kind of divides at the moment in there. I sell emotes and overlays of Jeffrey's nudes. Yeah, I need to do a little bit more on the mesh. It's cool. But the I'm going to apply rocks around this, but I want to have the basic skeleton of the golem functional. So yeah, adding those deform points into the mesh would certainly be helpful. Probably could be a far better way of doing this, but this is how we're working for now. Doesn't have to be perfect. Suppose I could probably bring these all up. So that becomes rotational there. Something along those lines. Also, might find auto envelopes might snag hands, hips together due to proximity. So T-pose is useful for that. Ah, yes, good point. Didn't think about that. Yeah, better off T-posing it. Good point indeed. Yeah, I was thinking, so T-pose would probably be the better Of course, sometimes for blocking it out, you just want natural posture. Yeah. I was thinking, okay, so I want to get dimensions down. Like, okay, what kind of size is it? What's the kind of widths? That's one fat pyramid man. Indeed. I think I got roughly where I think one thing's. Feet bones, maybe. Gollum got hips. There's all these tippy toes as well. Is he getting revenge for all the rocks you threw at castles? It could do. Like I was saying, sort of, it could be fun to throw a rock golem into a level where it's because kind of having this thing starts walking out towards you in defense of the castle, and you have to take this out before you can continue to take out the castle. Because I would like to add defensive parts to these castles, because at the moment it's just very much there's a building, knock it down, which is cool and all. It's a good simple gameplay loop. But if you added in the complication of, well, there's a thing that's gonna hinder you in some way, take that out first and then carry on. Boss level, or make the catapult a golem that throws rocks at people who send knights and archers at him. Ooh. Yeah. You could befriend the golem and the golem starts helping you. So yeah, there's all kinds of expansion you can do with it's very flat, isn't it? It's like Doritos for bones. So basically just expanded it out. Not that it really matters. The main thing is that it kind of hinges where it needs to hinge. Not sure about the tippy toe things going on there. But possibly dividing that up anyway, so it's got two smaller rocks at the bottom to give it more movement. Right, now I need to find the where's the want it to show bones on top so I can really see what's going on. Could send the golem at you periodically and have it be a case of hit it before it reaches you as a form of counterattack. Like you say, only thing is immediately changes the vibe of the game. Let's lay back. Yeah, like I think for a boss level idea could work like that, where it's majority of the vibe of the game is still pretty laid back, and I'd like it to be achievable. Like each level is achievable. There's no real, well, you failed. I don't want the level to be failed. I just don't want it to be a challenge that you could beat the level quicker or better than you currently have. And if you score a gold medal in each level, then it unlocks more stuff, but it doesn't stop you from progressing otherwise. Like, so I played a few kind of simple games where, yeah, you could beat the level in a one star, but the game could be beaten in a 3-star, and beating it in a 3-star gives you more stars to spend or something. So those kind of games inspire me. Go, well, actually, I can still have fun even if I complete the level on a basic kind of amount, but I could go back and replay that level and then complete it on a higher achievement and get more out of the game. So maybe like a rock golem coming at you would slow you down, maybe. Like it would like disable the catapult for a few seconds, where it kind of hits it or something, and it stops you from launching for a few seconds. So yeah, things like that. Like, still want to be able to complete the level, but if you hit it first, then it's out the way and it doesn't stop you from continuing. But yeah, sort of, I don't want to make a game where it's like, oh no, game over. You have to reload your save file, kind of thing. I don't want to make games with game overs. Yeah, no fail games with variable reward by performance, more by preference too. Yeah, there's more laid back. Like, I do enjoy some games where you have to keep playing and reloading until you get it right. Those can be fun as well. But at the same time, sometimes you just want a no-fail game where you can just keep playing. Go, well, I find I tend to spend more time playing no-fail games because I want to do it better than I did previously. I want to find the best way of playing it. All the rocks you throw slowly build up to a golem. Ooh. Isn't no-fail a story mode? Pretty much. Is that, oh well, you didn't pass that level with full marks, but you get through and you enjoy the next bit. Especially if you want to kind of story mode based games like that is good if you want the player to experience the game and not the game itself is the challenge. But certainly, like with what I'm making, I've got a gold, silver, bronze medal. So unless you get gold, semi-gold, you won't get extra stuff. But you can still play those levels, and it's not going to kick you out and back to the main menu if you don't do it in the right amount of time. Let's go, well, cool. You finish the level, but you need to do it a bit quicker. And once you do it in enough time, you go, brilliant, you got a gold medal. Here's some more stuff you can play now. So it's not really it's less of a fail and more play it until you get it right without having to sort of see a fail screen. So it kind of works in the same way that sort of, yes, you fail, but you don't die, you don't lose anything. You just play the level until you get it done quicker. Yeah, you keep trying until you get it. So good for a good analog for life, really, isn't it? Yeah, the full loop works best when it's short. I love Celeste, for example. Ooh, I've not played Celeste, but I've seen a lot of good things about it. But each of so far the levels I've made are only about 2-3 minutes long. But sort of, yeah, it wouldn't be more than 5 minutes. I don't want to be playing for half an hour and then you lose everything. That's the worst. So yeah, so unless it's like a game you can constantly save. Okay, I did a thing, save it. But because it's level based, once you've completed the level, you add to your stats, you save those stats, and then you can choose to replay the level. But yeah, having a good short fail loop is key to prevent players from getting frustrated. And you don't want too long a games anyway. Sometimes you go, well, don't feel like putting hours into a game. I just want to play a little bit and then come off and do something else. Especially when you're a little bit older, like I am, sort of, you haven't got the time or energy to put into a long playthrough as much as you want to. Losing things built over time can also work, but needs to feel like you messed up and not, this is what you have to do to progress. Yeah. You're not old, no. I'm older, but I'm not old. I'm classic. Yeah. I am a classic model. Like a vintage vinyl. So very cool. Yes. Thank you. I'm vintage. I'm mature like a cheese. Yeah, could do with T-posing this really and attaching the armature. Then once I'm happy I can pose it, then and stick some rocks to it. But it is getting quite late now. We've been streaming for 2 hours, nearly 2 hours and 45 minutes. Well, at least 2.5 hours. So what I'll probably do is next Wednesday we'll kind of rig this up properly, and then we'll start decorating it with rocks, and we'll have our rock golem. That'll be another thing off my list. Totally getting too old for this Darken Ring Souls malarkey. Yeah. I wouldn't mind at least trying something like sort of any of the Souls games, but it feels like an investment and I just don't have time or energy to invest. But it's not for lack of wanting to give it a go. There's so many. I've got so many games on my shelf I'm looking at that now. I go, well, some of these games would take probably, some are at least like a 30-hour game. Others are maybe 4 hours. Others maybe like an 8-hour game. So just kind of picking the right kind of game for what I'm in the mood for. But yeah, I want to make a game that allows people to enjoy it as long as they want, but not feel they have to invest too much time. I have an average of 2 to 3 hours game time a week, and yeah, can't be spending that falling on a spike repeatedly. Yeah. I used to love playing things like Sonic the Hedgehog and Mario and so, where you can keep falling off and losing lives, and a lot of FPS games where you're sort of having to run around huge levels collecting stuff, ammo, health. But yeah, as much as I still enjoy those mechanics, I can't get into the games at the moment. It's a shame because I do enjoy it. It just takes a little bit of time to invest. But let's switch over the camera and we'll wrap up the stream. But yeah, I'm going to make the type of games that I would enjoy playing, and that's all I can do. Like, if I enjoy them and no one else does, I'm happy with that.
Hug? That's the best kind of magic.
Hey, thank you for the follow on Twitch there, Nova. Yeah, those messages that pop up there are for all the bots. There's so many bots go, hey, epic! Would you like to do the following? No. Like, if you're here, you watch me, you chat, we hang out, we have fun. I'm not here to buy stuff from you. Thank you for the stream. Epic as always. Thank you, Lisa. It's always epic to have you here. Yeah, usually on YouTube, but thought I should be at the source. Awesome. But yeah, you're welcome whether you're on Twitch or YouTube. But I'm here on both, and I do appreciate follows on either platforms. Goodbye. Thank you for being here, Jeffrey. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Novadantis, for the follow on Twitch, and thank you for hanging out. Thank you, Bot. You're awesome as always. And what have I lost? I've lost you. Teeny. I don't know why you're not on my list, Teeny. There you are. Yeah, thank you for hanging out as well, Teeny. And everyone else, you've been all awesome. I'm going to get some rest now, and I'll be back on Friday doing Unity. So I'll be working on the catapult stuff on Unity. Trying to round it into a packageable game. We're mostly there. We're mostly there now. But yeah, we'll be doing that Friday. So until then, have a good week. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And I shall see you all on Friday. Have a good night. Good night.